Hi, I'm Cliff from Off the Cliff, and I'm going to teach you how to break today. Breaking or crushing the rack happens at the beginning of every game. Your objective is to sink a ball, spread the balls everywhere, and run the table. I believe it's probably one of the most important first shots of the game. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about energy transfer and how that works when you're hitting the head ball, and that you don't actually have to crush the rack in order to spread the balls and to sink something in. So let's start. Here I'm shooting a video in slow motion so that you can see that I'm hitting the head ball straight on. The balls separate nicely and I sink in a ball so that I can continue shooting on. Here's an example of hitting the pack partially. All the balls go to the right side of the table, there's lots of clusters, and it's hard to shoot from here on out. Here I'm demonstrating what happens when you nick the pack. All the balls stay at the bottom of the table, and the cue ball ends up in the corner pocket. This is an example of what not to do. So as I demonstrated before, when you hit the head ball full on, all the energy flows downwards through all the balls. If you go off to hit the head ball partially, only the energy that's coming down is coming down straight and it's coming down on an angle in this direction. And when you nick the ball and you end up in the corner pocket, all the balls stay at the bottom of the table. So when I'm hitting, I'm always hitting for the head ball directly on. All right, so now we're gonna do the breakdown of the break. So your first step is that you have to use a bridge that you're most comfortable with. I showed you before about an open bridge, a closed bridge. There is another bridge. It's called a rail bridge. Now, that's if your ball is set back a little bit further, or if you're going to be using the rails to shoot at a ball or whatnot. You can still use an open bridge on a rail, a closed bridge on a rail, or a two-finger bridge. And how that works is you put your thumb against your cue, your two fingers over, and your arm is nice and loose. So the reason why I say nice and loose, when you're breaking and you have to follow through, if your hand is too tight, your cue is not going to move through your fingers, and as you can see, it's gripping. So keep your finger loose. Allow your cue to go completely through. You have to follow through when you're breaking. You don't stop it like a stun shot for a stop shot. You follow completely through. You don't let your cue stop. You also stand a little further back from the table, depending on where you're shooting. If you're shooting up here, you stand a little further back to give yourself room because you're stepping into the shot as you stroke forward. So you're stepping in, and I'm just going to demonstrate here. You're stepping in as you go forward. When you're hitting the ball, when I hit the ball anyways, I find almost exactly where the center is, just down a little bit and to the right. I'll show you an image after this scene showing you exactly where I hit the cue ball. And when you do that, when you follow all of these steps, having a loose bridge, Having a comfortable bridge that you use. I use a closed loop when I'm on the table. When I'm shooting on a bigger table right now, this is actually a bar box table, so it's a little smaller. But when I play on a 9-foot Pro Series table, I don't actually set up my ball over here. I set it up to these 2 points and I shoot from this corner with a 2-rail or a 2-finger rail bridge. That way I give a little bit more oomph and I push a little harder and I step into the shot a little harder to spread the balls everywhere. But we are playing on bar box, so just bottom or middle just to the right, and you hit it with a full follow through. It's good to experiment with your breaks. On this break, I'm using a stop shot. I still get a ball in with a decent spread. On this break, I'm using a stop shot with a slight right backspin. I sink in a few balls and get a lot of action from the balls on the table with a nice spread. Here I'm demonstrating a slower cue speed with a nice spread. Notice the ball didn't jump. What I'm illustrating is that you don't have to hit the rack as hard as you can. You can just slow down your cue speed and still have a great break. You still have to hit the head ball full on. On this final break, I show my corner break, still aiming to hit the head ball full on. Try moving the cue ball around the table to see what works best for you. So we talked about energy transfer and why it's important to hit the head ball full on. Full on means a better spread. Remember, relax your bridge arm. This one here. Relax it. Use a bridge that you're most comfortable with. Focus on the cue ball. Next, hit the cue ball just below center and to the right. Take a step back from the table when you're setting up for the break. Follow through and have fun with the breaks, because practicing only creates more muscle memory. Until next time.